Just another solid team effort here today.
Thank you.
Can you elaborate a little bit on how good the team played in front of you and how good you felt?
Absolutely, I can do that. We said that most of the times you have to respond to a loss, but we had to have the mentality for this game to respond after a win as well and not take anything for granted. And then when the first period started, Gosline did a great job of getting us going and scored a couple of huge goals for us to, give us momentum and then, play in front for the rest of the game.
What strides are you seeing that take defensively here as the games get more and more?
Well, lately we haven't done as many, immature mistakes. We don't force plays as much as we did earlier in the season. We take what's there, and if there's no play, we chip it out. Live to fight another day. But at the same time, we get our forecheck going, our neutral zone forecheck as well. So those are the things that I'm happy that you've seen us doing a better job with throughout the season. And then obviously playing with a lead, not just with one goal, but 3 goals. And, same thing there, don't take it for granted. Just because we had 3 goals, it's going to be, an easy night. The last 5 minutes, every team is going to try to push, especially teams that are trying to get in or trying to get up positions on other teams. So I'm very proud of the fellas today.
On that note, what have you seen from the team in learning how to play with the lead, especially with these past few games against the past few teams?
I think I answered that question already.
Just what details of the game, defensively, have you seen from the team that kind of emphasize that?
Okay, I can elaborate a little bit more then. We're doing a better job of being in positions 6-on-5 as well. Making them have to make really, really good passings, or whenever there's a rebound, we're in good positions to get the puck cleared or get first touch instead of them having a rebound opportunity, and which makes my job a lot easier as well when I have to focus on the first one, obviously, and trying to put it in a position where put in a spot where it's not a danger. But throughout the night we were in a good positions, and whenever I didn't see, we got a couple of good blocks as well, which we've had the last couple of games as well.
There's a strong possibility that Tuesday could be a win and in situation for you guys, where you could make the playoffs and break an 8-year playoff drought. What do you think it means to you and this group to be able to play for that opportunity potentially on Tuesday night?
I mean, that's what we've aimed for all season long. We gotta love it. That's all there is to it.
Does it feel different than being in Boston, though, Linus, where, I don't know if they were expected to make the playoffs all the time, but it seemed to be automatic, whereas here, this is a team that's grown up together and they're trying to get across the finish line?
No, not really. I think it's just the media overall that's been, doing their job and not doing their job when it comes to following this team and writing things and saying things that I feel hasn't been fully, fully the truth. And so I'm happy now that the guys now that have been there for a long time, like Shabby, Shaki, for example, I think those are 2 who have been there the longest, and now have an opportunity to play really meaningful games and get into a position where you can battle for the cup.
Can you elaborate on that point in terms of things that may have been said or written about this team that weren't true?
Nope. That's for you to think about.
First and foremost, the win, but obviously pretty nice to contribute to it.
Yeah, it was a great win. We're getting down the stretch here and trying to get our game to, where it needs to be to final push for playoffs. And, it's always good to see one go in. Definitely felt good, and it was a great team effort all around.
Can you go into more detail about how much that felt good for you to return to the Scotia? And it had been a couple of games.
Yeah, obviously my role has shifted a little bit from the beginning of the year, and I've been happy with my game and our line's game, and I'm not focused on the scoring or the points, anything like that. But it is. I've had my chances and they haven't gone in, so it definitely feels good to see one finally go in.
How do you feel you've handled the shift in role kind of mid-season?
I think I've handled it pretty well. I know what that role is, and in order for us to be a good team, someone's going to play that role, and I bought into that role and just doing whatever I can to help the team win. And as a line with Heisey and Crooker and kind of filtering in guys on that line too, and we all have the same have the same game plan every game, just to go out and work hard and try to play down low and wear teams down and set the other lines up for success.
Adam, how much does the team talk about getting the game's first goal? Your team has the best record in the NHL when scoring first.
I think it's always an important thing that every team talks about. You always want to get the first one, get that momentum. And I didn't know that, but obviously it plays a big factor. So, especially at home, you get that first one and the crowd's into it right away. And, getting one on the board first gives you a little swagger, a little momentum to play with the lead.
What was everyone's reaction to Nick scoring his first?
Everybody's pretty jacked up. I think we were on the edge of our seats a little because it kind of squirted out there, but it was great to see him at the net front there, and just happy for him to get his first.
Obviously, pretty good feeling tonight.
Yeah, of course, win and first goal. So yeah.
Can you just walk us through it and how it ended up in the back of the net?
I was alone in front of the net. I don't know why, but just puck bouncing somewhere and just put it in.
Can't explain why you were there. You were a long way from home.
Yeah, I was, but I don't know. I just skating there. I don't really know.
Did the goal go to your legs afterwards? 'Cause, I mean, there's a few times even after that where you ended up.
Yeah, it's bounced my leg, and I don't know. I just look at that like going in, please, going, and let's go. Yeah.
Do you think about it a lot? Have you thought about actually doing that?
Yeah, first 20 games, I think, but after that I basically lose my hope already that I don't gonna score, but yeah.
You taking a look at your phone to see if you've received any messages?
Not yet, so yeah.
In general, though, recently you guys have been able to grab a lead early and then kind of hold that throughout. Just what have you seen from the team in holding the leads when you get it early?
Yeah, our start is being very good last 2 or 3 games, but yeah, I think after first period we go a little bit like casual. I don't know why, but we are not playing our best right now. I know everybody knows that too, so just try to play better.
So the big 3 wins in a row and probably a scenario where you need only 2 more points to get in. How does that feel?
Yeah, feels good, of course. Like every team wants to go to playoffs, so we just need that 2 more points and we're going to playoffs.
What are the biggest lessons for you, kind of being part of these games down the stretch here that you've taken away?
Yeah, they are tight games every game and very physical games. So I think that's gonna help me and everybody in the team in the playoffs too.
What's clicking with you and Tyler?
I don't know. We played last year, basically whole year together, and we hang out a lot off ice too. So I think we had good chemistry, and that's just clicking.
Coach, essentially the same description that you gave us yesterday about your team's play? Or?
I thought we played a pretty complete game. Loved our start, loved how we came out and kind of set the game of how we wanted to play, to be honest, and really liked our third period. Thought it, spent a lot of good time in their zone and played a really complete game, and Linus was good in that.
So spoke yesterday about kind of learning to play with the lead. Just what did you see from your team when you get that chance?
I think we've done a pretty good job of that for the most part all year, and tonight was a good example of it. Some good decisions with the puck, some good shifts down in the offensive zone below the circles, and real good game, a solid game tonight out of our group.
You have a 153-minute shutout streak going. What's that testament for your team?
Commitment to checking, good goaltending. You don't get it without both of those, and so it's nice to see.
Yesterday you mentioned that from day one you could tell with this group that they wanted to win.
Mm-hmm.
There's a strong possibility that Tuesday, if they win against Columbus, they're in. What do you think it means to this group to be so close to accomplishing a goal that they've wanted to do since the beginning of the year?
Yeah, I think it's very important to them, but it's, you go back to why you play the game. Every person that plays the game wants a chance to win the Stanley Cup, and that's why you play. Everyone lives a good life when they're in the NHL, and that's very nice, but at the end of the day, every person in this league wants a chance to win a cup, and the first step is you got to make the playoffs to have that chance, and I know our group is hungry to have a chance.
Say that defense wins championships. 1 goal in 3 games. As a coach, how does that make you feel at this point of the season?
Yeah, we've stressed it a lot from the beginning, and you don't have games like stretches like this without your goalies playing well. I don't think the Tampa game and the Florida game wasn't our best hockey, but our goalies played extremely well. We found ways to win. I thought tonight we were sharp in our game. We checked well. We played well with the puck, but we've had a mindset, or our group has, to be a committed team away from the puck, and there's no denying that if you can't check or play away from the puck, you don't have a chance of winning long term.
Matinpalo seems like a pretty even keel, calm guy. Was he excited at all?
Yeah, he was
what
pretty
the vibe?
calm. Yeah, I felt the same way. He didn't get too excited about the goal, and great to see though. But that's kind of his demeanor.
As Baumgartner kind of where schematically he had him driving the net on the.
Yeah, that was, we wrote that up for Manti to get down right in front of the net. But good for him. Just shows confidence that his game is growing.
What have you liked from the bottom pair, like with him and Puck in the past game?
Just solid play, both of them. I think both, 2 young defensemen that still have, they're not the best version of themselves they're going to be. Playing defense in the NHL is not easy for rookies, and they've both done a good job.
How does it feel for you to see this team play this well defensively, especially knowing that it's been like their weakness for the past few years?
Yeah, it says a lot about them and their willingness to, I guess, be coached. I've talked a lot about that, and to a man in that room, we really have a group that they're coachable, I guess is the best word to use, and one of the most coachables, if not groups that I've had. So.
Talking about the Stanley Cup obviously being the ultimate goal, first making the playoffs. So what do you think the next steps are for this team if you guys were to make it?
Well, the next step is to make the playoffs and then to play on them.
Do you expect Brady to go on the road trip?
I do, yep.
Do you expect him to play?
I'm not sure, to be honest. But I'm expecting, he skated today. Expect him to skate again tomorrow.
Do you have an update too on Nick Cousins?
He's still skating with the team. He'll be on the road trip as well, from what I understand.